Hi everyone, it's Trish from Dish Kitty Studio, and I know it's been a really long time since my last video. I think it's probably been like a month or maybe even more. I have been so busy. I work a full-time job, and then I have 2 consulting jobs on top of that, so that keeps me so busy. I've had to travel for work the last last month or so, and it's just been crazy. But I wanted to catch up with you guys and do a quick flip through here, and I think I have so many pages to go through that I think I'm gonna have to make this 2 videos, so this will be part 1. Anyway, we're all the way back to October 19th here. I just drew the little, this is like Hillary's little logo, because I drew Trump last time, and this night I was over at my mom's and we watched the debate together. This was the last presidential debate. The Book of Mormon. My husband and I went to see the Book of Mormon, and it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go see it if you get a chance. It was really good. We had a great time. We enjoyed it a lot. Okay. I took a friend of mine he's from Turkey. He lives here in the United States, but he doesn't have any family that lives here. His family's all in Turkey, and he was having surgery on his knee to repair, oh gosh, what was it? His ACL. He had torn his ACL and he was having it repaired. So I took him to the hospital and waited with him, waited in the waiting room while he had surgery and all that kind of stuff. Because he didn't, he doesn't have a girlfriend, and he, like I said, his family's not here. So I took him, and so this is a picture of his leg. They wrote yes in marker on the knee that they were fixing. So I drew that. And after the surgery, I took him back to his apartment, and he made me a cup of Turkish coffee, which he's got this Turkish coffee maker and everything, and it was amazing. It was so good. I loved it. Okay. Moving day. My mom moved out of her apartment into a different apartment, so this was it was a crazy busy day. This is just a roll of tape and a marker because we packed up all the last minute stuff and moved everything, and then had pizza for dinner. Okay. This day, what was I doing? Oh, I was back at my mom's again, and I was helping her hang up all her clothes in the closets and everything, set up her electronics for her, like her TV and DVD player and all that kind of stuff. So here's cords and a remote, and we had Chinese food for dinner, so I put my husband and I's fortunes here. Okay. What is happening here? My husband's cooking, obviously. He's holding a spatula. See, this was so long ago, I have to actually read it to figure out what's going on. Oh, my husband grilled. I believe it was the first time we've grilled on, was it the first time we grilled on our new patio? See, you guys, I'm sorry. This has been so long ago now that I don't even remember. I think we just had burgers. I had to work in the evening, so I had a bunch of work to do, and so my husband grilled and made burgers for us. And that's it. I just drew him. He's all excited with his little spatula there. Alright. This was, I actually kind of love this page, even though it's not real conventional. It was a really rainy day. It was very cold. So I made a fire. It was my first time making a fire this season in the fireplace. So I love making fires. I love sitting by the fire. So I drew the fire. And then I had hot cocoa. It was my first time having hot cocoa this season as well. So it was kind of and I love rainy days. I love making fires. I love hot cocoa. So it was a good day for me. I went out and did some shopping, and you can see I'm trying on a skirt here and my belly's hanging over it because it's a little too small and the shirt's a little too small, but so I'm not very happy. So I just was out shopping. I needed some clothes for a work trip that I had coming up, so I was out just kind of doing some shopping, and that's me trying on stuff. Okay. This is like red pepper flakes in a shaker jar. We went out with some friends to celebrate a friend's birthday, and we went to this great pizza place that's new in town. It just opened up, so I just drew the shaker and talked about the birthday party. My husband and I went to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show at the Alamo in town. And I actually, okay, this is a little card sleeve, and I taped it down and I stuffed it with some of the confetti stuff that we got. And I made our little hats out of the real hats. They gave us these paper party hats to wear, so I actually just cut them down and made hats for us. So it was really fun. We had a good time. Okay. I did a little bit of cleaning here. I had to go through some of my stuff, and I just went through all my yarn and got rid of a bunch of it and just kind of organized it and tidied it up. And I also made a loaf of pumpkin bread with raisins. My husband, this week, the last week of October, he was working this really crazy shift. Like, he started working at 3 a.m. and then he was done at 1 p.m. So it was just not even the night shift. It was like a half and half because of some stuff that's going on in the UK. He had to cover it here because that's their business hours. So he was working UK hours for a full week. So it was crazy. Like, by the time I was done working, he'd be sleeping, and he'd wake up at maybe midnight, and then I'd be in bed. So it was crazy. It was a really crazy schedule. So all the time that I saw him that week, he was sleeping, basically. He was sleeping or working. So it was kind of a mess. So I drew him in bed. Let's see. Not really too much going on here. I got my hair cut. I got it cut pretty short, so I drew a little picture of that. I ran some errands. I went out and bought cat food. It was November 1st, so here's a little cupcake with a bat on it. I bought it at the grocery store. It was half price, so it was like 79 cents. So I was all excited about my half price Halloween cupcake. And also, my aunt and uncle who are in town were in town at this time, visiting from Texas, stopped by and dropped off this huge box of old family photos, like old black and white from when my grandmother and grandfather were first married, and from when my mom, who is 70 years old, was a little kid, and all of her siblings when they were little kids, and it was so cool. So I spent a lot of time going through that box. Just getting ready to go on this big trip. I had to go to Chicago. It was just for a day trip, so I just packed my backpack. So I packed my backpack this night because it was just a day trip. I took the train. It takes a couple hours to get there by train each way. So that was just my bag because I packed it. So this is a drawing I did on the train. You can see, if you look at it closely, the lines are not very straight. It's really actually hard to draw on the train. It doesn't stay still. It's like you're constantly moving, so it made it really difficult, but this is what I drew on the train. And it just so happened that I had lunch with my boss, and then he had to leave to catch a flight, and I had a couple of hours to kill before my train home, so I grabbed a cab and went to the Blick store in Chicago. And it was amazing. It's 2 stories. And I walked around there. I had so much fun. I spent at least an hour and a half in there just looking around at everything. I really didn't buy a whole bunch. Actually, let me show you what this is the main thing I bought. This was probably this was the biggest thing I bought. I bought a couple of like single pencils and single pens and stuff like that. But this is the Winsor & Newton watercolor markers. So if you're not familiar with them, they're 2-sided. They have a brush tip on one end and then a fine tip. Oops, I don't even know if you guys can see that. Fine tip on the other end because I think I was holding it too far away. Let me show you one more time. I don't know if you can see that. So that's the brush tip, and then there's the fine point on the other end. So basically the gist of these is they work sort of like they're watercolor. So I would think of them as almost like a watercolor pencil, but it's a marker, so it's liquid. So you put down color, and then you can kind of activate it with water and sort of move it around your paper. So I have heard about these. I've always wanted to try them, and I was like, I'm at Blick. I never get to come to Blick, so I'm gonna go for it. I have played with them a little bit. What I have found is that I love them. The colors are very, very vibrant. The tips are very nice. Both tips I like for different reasons. It makes the type of paper you use these on, in my opinion, my experience with them so far, makes a huge difference. If the paper absorbs, if it's very absorbent and it absorbs a lot of the color, you have a harder time pushing it around again with water. So it takes some experimentation to find the right types of paper to work with, but overall I'm very, very happy with these. I don't remember what I paid for them. I want to say in the $35 range ballpark perhaps, but I honestly don't remember because again this was a month ago, more than a month ago. But I can't imagine they were more than that because I'm pretty cheap, to be honest. So, but I do love them. They're very cool. There's a really nice range of colors here. I'm pretty happy with them so far. The times I've played with them. Okay. Okay, so my friend from Turkey that I went with to have while he had surgery, his parents came into town from Turkey, and they brought me this really nice dessert box of Turkish desserts. And this is like, I don't know if you can see it because there might be a glare, but so I ripped off some of the label. I cut it off and I stuck it in here. And they kind of look like this. They're sort of like the best comparison I can make that would make sense that most of you I would think have probably tried is like a baklava. They're not super sweet. They have kind of like a phyllo doughy, doughy type of outside, and then there's kind of like, I don't know if it was almond or hazelnut, like a paste inside. It was very good. It was different. It's not like desserts that we think of as desserts here, like cookies and cakes and pies and candy and stuff like that. It's a little bit more subdued, I would say, not quite so sweet. But it was interesting. It was really nice. His parents brought it to me as a thank you for, making sure their son was taken care of when he had his surgery and everything. And it was a really neat gift to get, and it was a really interesting dessert to try. Okay. My aunt and uncle were still in town visiting from Texas, and we had a little barbecue at my house. And so my uncle, my mom's brother who lives, he probably lives about 40 minutes away, he came over, and then my aunt and uncle from Texas were here, and my sister and her family. So we all just kind of hung out. I drew the virtual reality headset because we all had a really good time passing that around and playing with it. And we had some wine. My aunt, she always wears lipstick and she likes red wine, so I just drew a little picture of the wine glass with her lipstick ring on it because I thought that was cool. This day I was not feeling too well, and I'm not a person that takes naps. I just don't usually nap. I find that I want to nap and I'm tired, but I lay down and I think, oh, I should be doing this. I need to get this done. And what am I doing? I'm wasting my time, and then I can't get to sleep, so I don't end up ever taking naps. So this day I wasn't feeling too good, and I actually fell asleep on the couch, and I slept for probably about a half hour, which is quite a long time for me. So I drew a picture of me napping on the couch with the remote here next to me. Okay. I had placed an order for some new clothes, and I got this amazing sweatshirt. You can see it says badass. It's black and it says badass in white letters. It's really, really cool, and I love it. Okay, election day. So here's our stickers. My husband and I went and voted, and then this crazy surprised face is me watching the election results until pretty late into the night because I was shocked. I just really did not think that Donald Trump was going to win, so I was just surprised. So that's me with my mouth hanging open like, what? So this was election day, so I wrote President Trump because I was still shocked. I still can't believe it. This is a picture of a suit jacket. I had another business trip coming up. This one was a little bit longer and I needed some clothes to wear. So I went out and did some shopping this night and I ended up buying a navy blue pinstripe suit. So here's just a picture of the jacket I drew. Here, oh, okay. My husband left for a trip here. He went to a convention and he was gone for I think about 4 days or so. This was the first day he left. And I get cold at night and I like to use an electric blanket. So I've been kind of like, are we ready for the electric blanket? Are we ready? Are we ready? Is it time? And he gets warm when he sleeps. So he doesn't like it and he doesn't want to put it on. So he waits until, you know, I am driving him crazy to put that thing into, you know, say, okay, let's put it on. Well, I'm not kidding. About 5 seconds after he was out the door, it was a freezing cold day, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? So I took the bed apart, and I put that electric blanket on. So here's me all snuggled up in my electric blanket, and here's the cord hanging off. And I was so happy. I slept so good that night. Even though my husband wasn't here, I slept great because I had my electric blanket. That's it for now. I'm gonna stop this video because it's already getting pretty long, and I have a lot more pages left. I'm going to do those in a second part and I'll upload that part in a couple of days. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I hope that you're having a great week and I will see you soon.